Hello, this is Evan here from the Trade Risk on Wednesday, February 17th, 2021. We are intraday right now, and this is our weekly swing trade ideas video where we bring you stocks based on a variety of discretionary, some technical and quantitative patterns, all of which we're going to break down and discuss in just a moment. But as always, these videos are sponsored by our partners over at Investors Business Daily. We curate ideas from their stock lists. You can get access to their stock lists with a link in the description of this video. So it's good to be back. Missed last week's video. That's a rare miss from us. We're usually pretty consistent. Every Wednesday we're back on track publishing these trade ideas. We've got 5 stocks we're looking at today, and it's a pretty heated market environment out there. We're seeing some shaky short-term, maybe a little bit of shaky price action, but all things being equal, it's been very, very strong out there. So again, make sure you're doing your homework. We present these ideas in a vacuum. So we're basically looking at all of these trade ideas based on their specific price patterns, but you need to fit that into the market context and just everything else that's going on. That is your job when you're looking at these trade ideas. So do your homework, make sure they fit everything that is important to you. So we're going to kick things off with one trade idea that I pulled out from my sort of discretionary bucket looking at the market. It is WST, so West Pharmaceutical Services. When I was running through the stock lists here, the TR150 watch list, which is our own curated group of stocks, and IBD's watch lists, this one stood out to me. I like it for a couple of different reasons. One, well, first, if we just zoom out altogether, you can see this has just been in a monster uptrend for basically its entire publicly traded history. And if we actually wait, let me make sure that's true. Yeah, pretty much. And this one goes way back here, right? So back in the 90s, obviously lots of turbulence, but certainly recently here, it's been a very, very strong uptrend. So if we zoom in a little bit closer, since August of 2020, this has basically been moving sideways between about 250 and 300. We see this consolidation in here that basically had this stock moving sideways, and we got this brief marginal new high about a month or so ago, early January, and since that point there was no follow through, and it's kind of just been consolidating down here. So I like the check back. There's been lots of just consolidation. The stock's taking its time. It's very orderly here. That's what I like about it, so you know kind of where you're wrong. And for me, you know, if this starts losing below 288, falling back into this old range, probably don't like it as much anymore. So WST, like the potential here. It still needs to show the proof. It still needs to get that breakout, but I like the price action overall and the setup. Now we just need the actual trigger. So WST, that's the first one from my sort of discretionary bucket. Let's move on to some technical trade setups. So this comes from our TC2000 scans, all of which are available on our website. The first is VIR. This one here, definitely sort of a bit of a nosebleed momentum setup here. So again, make sure you're doing your homework and paying attention to your risk when you're looking at stocks like this. It's a biotech, VIR. It's a medium cap, so it's not super small, but it certainly had an explosive move here throughout 2021. So we opened up the year around 26 bucks. It's already trading at $80. It's only February, so it's had a heck of a run. And what's interesting though is today's price action. You can see after 4 days of consolidating down, we've got the kind of explosive bar going on today with some elevated volume, and it's looking like it wants to close pretty close to new 52-week highs here. This is found from our pullback strength scan. So this is a scan that we have on our website. It basically looks for these short-term consolidations and explosive moves in momentum stocks. That's what it's designed to do. And this is a setup that illustrates it pretty nicely. So for your TC2000 users, you can check out that scan to learn more about it. So VIR, that's our first one there from the technical bucket. Number 2 is WIX. We've talked about this before. This is hitting our ultimate consolidation scan. This scan looks for long-term consolidations, and you're seeing that here with WIX. Take a look at this weekly chart. So this has basically been consolidating at all-time highs, just under all-time highs for the past 6-7 months, and it is just now getting back to the top end of that range. So if we go to the daily chart again, you can see you've got this big consolidation. You've got a heavy volume day coming in today. It's up 5% with some follow through into the 300s. This could very closely and quickly start making new highs. So something worth paying attention to. Again, there's no trigger yet. It could easily fail up here. All of those risks still associated with it, but I like the overall pattern. Last but not least, on the technical side, we've got one bearish trade idea. Couldn't leave today's video without putting something bearish on it as a potential. It is a semiconductor name, which has its own risks. So remember, this has been a very strong sector, leading sector, in fact. But CRUS, CRUS ticker symbol, is something that I think... let's go back to that, is something that is pretty interesting here. This is hitting basically our bear flag pullback weakness scan. This is essentially picking up this little bit of a bounce here, right? So if we kind of draw this out, you can see we've got this bear looking flag after a move down in the stock. So we had, this heavy volume kind of breakdown impulse leg lower, and then you've got this little bit rally, and now it's potentially breaking down, but quite indecisive based on today's price action. This one here, again, has been a strong leader, so you have to be nimble, you have to be quick if you're going to play in these types of names. You had this bigger channel that this had been rising in, you broke down, and now what you'd be looking for on a short sale is essentially a second leg down, from following through this leg one down to a leg two into the mid 70s, let's call it. So we'll see if that plays out. Not sure if it is higher risk name, but for you short traders there, CRUS, that is coming from our pullback weakness scan. Last but not least is a quantitative setup coming from our Merlin trading system. Merlin likes to hold stocks for about a month or two, and it's a longer term swing trading quantitative strategy. Equifax picked it up this morning. This is a new long position as of this morning, so full disclosure, I am long EFX right now, looking for higher prices. Picked it up today near the open, and first target is pretty much up towards the highs of, I don't have it in front of me actually, the specific price target, but it's much closer back up here towards the highs made in January of what we would be looking for. So EFX, Merlin, buying it this morning. I own it and looking for higher prices. That's our last trade idea from the quantitative side. So that's what I got for today's video. Which name was most interesting to you? Leave a comment below. Are you looking at any of these trade ideas? Do you have something different that looks interesting? I'd love to hear it below. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in and watching every Wednesday. Trade ideas just like this. So do subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us at The Trade Risk. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you back here on Friday for the weekly market analysis video.